thought I'd just go through a few bits that I've done before the actual video started. Firstly, sealed up the battery tray, which has turned out to be the issue that was causing all of the water ingress whenever it rained or whenever I washed the car. So the fiberglass panel that was left in there, I've resealed all that back up and I've not had any water in since, which is great. Identified a few cosmetic issues on the outside of the car, like the spoiler trim lifting up and paint chips and bits and pieces like that, so just sort of kept a record of bits and pieces that need doing. Ordered a new screen wash pump because that was not working whatsoever, and also got the new fuel pump ordered as well. Fixed the left hand side audio, which wasn't working, very minor issue, but it was a nice hour or so job getting that sorted out. Rewired up the engine bay bulb, which was a very satisfying little job to get done, so these evenings and weekends, or if I ever get stuck, it's nice to have a bit of light in the engine bay if you don't have a torch on you and that, so that's cool. I did actually get the car running for the first time. Didn't get it on film or anything like that because it was just one of those where I was going through the motions and it coughed and spluttered into life, and yeah, finally got it running. Yeah, that's just a few of the things I've got done.
Hey everyone, sorry it's been a while. I've been busy tinkering on the car, trying to get bits done where I can. I'm not sure exactly where I left off in the last video, but where I'm up to now is fuel pumps on, engine's turned over, engine's been started. I've adjusted the timing and that seems to be running okay when it does, but as you can see I'm still under the car. I've got that fuel pump bracket to fit because, as I showed previously, whoever retrofitted another one on absolutely mashed these brackets, so they're getting removed, and I'll be putting a new eBay special on, and then hopefully getting the car started today, which I'll hopefully get on video for you. Right, well, got the fuel pump back on. Actually misplaced my drill, so I can't actually hard mount it for the time being, but it is now working again. But I'm just getting repeated issues with the starter motor, and even though I've tested it on the bench on a separate battery numerous times now, and it does seem to be operating exactly how it should be, it's still just clunking in the car. So I'm thinking either sort of main wiring ground or whatever it is that's causing it to just clunk and not actually spin the motor, because it is just still intermittent. It's very frustrating. But that's the joy of old crap cars. So I'll carry on and see what else I can achieve. Well, sorry about any potential wind noise, but another hour into pissing around trying to get it started, and just before I fully commit to getting underneath the car and taking the starter motor off again, I just thought, oh, cheer myself up and do another little job. So I've got a patch that needs attending to underneath the battery tray. So I'm guessing this was originally covered or patched or sealed, and it's peeled away and fallen off at some point, so I'm just going to clean that and seal it back up. Well, got it running. Gonna have a quick walk around whilst it's still running. a bit quieter in here. Gauges are looking okay. The battery light on a slow dim and turn back on, so not sure what that means. Fuel gauge clearly not working. Everything else seems to be working alright. I have had it in the gears, forwards and backwards, and they're all engaging, so that's promising. So, teething issues, but we'll get there. Hope you can hear me a little bit better now. Switched the car off now, had it running for about 15 minutes or so, which is probably the longest I've had it going so far. You can see there the temperature gauge has gone up, it's sat in the middle quite happily. The oil pressure was sat around in the middle as well, not sure exactly what it's supposed to be resting on. Of course the car is stationary, which is probably not the best thing for it, but there you go. Coolant system seemed to be working fine. The fan was switching itself on when needed to. Could feel it was still quite warm in the engine bay, but that's old cars I suppose. As I said before, there was a bit of cloudy white smoke stuff coming off the manifold, but I'm convinced that's just some leftover WD-40 residue from when I was releasing the nuts from that previously. That all sort of cooked off within about 5 or 10 minutes or so. There was no other nasty stuff coming off of the engine, which is good to see. I feel like probably the spark plugs seals need looking at, or if not it might be the piston rings, which might be causing the misfire, because I've still got a lot of oil around the spark plugs when I've removed them after having it running. Positives though, no coolant leaking on the floor as yet. The fuel leak at the back has stopped after I've tightened everything back up again properly, so that's really good to see. No nasty smells, no crazy fluids on the floor, nothing like that. Yeah, all really promising. Now hopefully there's not too much wind and you can hear me alright here. As you can see, this is the battery voltage I'm getting after having the car running, and I was doing some voltage tests whilst the car was going and it was sitting sort of below 12. I know it should be a lot higher than that when it's running, so I'm thinking the blinking battery light is telling me that either alternator's not working, but what's more likely is it's just a wiring issue elsewhere, which is probably why I'm not getting the starter motor to engage properly every time. As I've said before, it's all very new to me, so I'm just trying to get my head around it whilst I can. Oh, where's that gone? Ah, well, it's gone off now. So yeah, I think that's going to be the next things to tackle, is down there where the alternator sits, do some continuity checks on that, etc. And yeah, just fault find and go through the motions with that. Well, I think that will conclude this video and today's shenanigans. Very promising stuff, more good news than bad news I suppose, but still plenty of things to look at and work through. If anybody's got any advice regarding the alternator and getting the, I don't know if it's the ground wires or the positive wires going to the alternator or to the starter, seems to be very common, not just on this car, but yeah, I think that'll do it for today. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.